Hey guys, it's Brad the Buff. I got my buff on my head and I am ready to go. I am stoked. I have in my hands an unboxing of the tent for the hopefully that ends all tents for me. This is the Zpacks altaplex. The altaplex was made for extra tall sleepers. It's one of their lightest weight tents. It's 15.4 ounces, I believe. It's a single person tent. I have been waiting. This isn't something I need. This is a luxury item, and I've been waiting for someone to come online that looked like they had treated their tent well to make a used purchase. I already have a duplex, so this may be overkill, but I wanted it, and as you know, I'm really into gear. I'm going to go into some of the details and the opening of this in this video. So this is a tent I've had my eye on for a while. It is basically the minimalist version of a tent that I enjoy. I like to get all my stuff slimmed down to only what I need. So I was using my duplex as my super light tent, and I use my tarp in the winter, and when I think I'm going to be staying in, basically my tarp is my backup, or if I know it's most likely not going to rain that much. But last year, when I got bit by a tick from sleeping in my tarp and ended up with Lyme disease, that made me a little bit more paranoid and thinking that, hey, in the summer months, I may not want to stay in my tarp. I may want to have something that has some kind of screening on it. And so I wanted to switch up from my duplex. Some things about this tent that are super cool. Oh man, look at that. What a beautiful, oh my gosh. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's in a baggie here, and I got it with some stakes and a pole, but some of the things that makes it different than a duplex that I was looking forward to is that you only need a single pole to set it up as opposed to two poles. So I'm gonna lose some weight there by going down a pole, and it should be a little bit easier and a little bit quicker setup, and it also takes up less ground space. That's something that people don't really talk about when they're going over tents, but that is actually important because it increases your site selection if you don't need as much ground space. I mean, that does mean the interior is going to be smaller. Because this one has such a steep pitch on the roof line, it's basically half of a pyramid. That's essentially how it sets up. And then the vestibules come down the front half. I'm gonna set it up. Like I said, this is just an unboxing and first impressions. Super duper light. Man. Rolls nice and tight. I like it, packs down pretty small. I'll probably be able to fit this in one of my side pockets, which is where I actually like to store my tent. And this is Dyneema Cuban fiber. This one had magnets set up and they had switched out some of the cords. This is it. I mean, this stuff is so sheer, it is almost see-through, but you know, you're really gonna have to set it up to get a good look at it. I am just super stoked about it. The guy also sent me some stakes, some titanium stakes with it. He sent them in really nice bags. These are all Dyneema Cuban fiber bags. Oh man, they've got reflective bands on them, so if it's late at night. So I got some stakes here, super cool titanium stakes he sent with them. And like I said, it only takes one pole. I don't know if I'm gonna end up using this pole or not, because it might be a little bit overkill, but he sent me this pole that just kind of goes together, and then I can use this as my ridge pole. I only need one. I don't typically use walking sticks. You do need about a 60-inch pole to set this up, but one of the reasons you need such a tall pole is because it has very steep roof lines, and that's what gives you the extra lift for taller hikers. They say this is the tent that you want if you're between 6 foot and 6'6", that it works for those sizes. I fall right in the middle, so it should be perfect for me. Once again, the specs on it is the actual tent is 15.4 ounces, and you can get a pole that weighs maybe 3 to 4 ounces to set it up. And then it does say that you can set it up with 6 stakes, but it can use up to 10. That's going to add a couple ounces if you have some ultra light stakes. So between your whole setup, you're going to be at somewhere between 22 and 24 ounces. super lightweight for a tent. I mean, obviously you're going to be at 1.5 pounds for a awesome one-person tent. If you already use a hiking stick or a hiking pole, then that's already weight savings. You don't need to carry a pole, and now you're down to basically a 17-ounce setup for your tent, which is awesome. But I'm going to take the rest of the video, I'm going to set it up real quick and just show you guys what I got here. Okay, I'm going to do a quick setup of this tent. It should only take me maybe 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. I've played away with it a little bit, but I've only set it up a couple times, so hopefully I get it a little bit faster. One of the reasons I really like this tent is because it is quick to set up and it doesn't take up that much ground space, so you don't need a whole lot of area to set it up. So what I've kind of found so far is I just set it up like a square. I'm going to go ahead and stake all of my corners out here real quick. So you definitely want to stake them at a diagonal. You don't want to pull them straight out. They got to kind of go diagonal to each other. So like this one, like this. Let's see. You need them to pull out at the corners. So once I got this side will be a little bit easier. Straight and diagonal. And then I can always come behind and kind of fix it once I got it, the pole up. So now I got it nice, it's squared out nice and square, or staked out nice and square. Put my poles together here. So this isn't the pole, and I don't usually use a walking stick. But one thing I figured out too in my second setup is that when you set this up, you want the pole kind of to lean into it and pull it down so that the bottom kind of, you want it leaning, you want it tilted this way, not tilted back. Okay. There we go. That's all you would have to do if it was decent weather. That's 5 stakes. I'm going to go ahead and stake out to pull it out a little bit. So this just gives you a little bit more headroom here. And there's 2 on the back here. So it can take up to, you can use as minimal as 5, but if you really want to get the maximal headspace on the inside, it requires 10 to really pull out the sides. And especially if it was inclement weather. There we go. However long that took, that's how long it takes to set up. Super duper easy setup. If it was raining, I could do it, probably in a minute, especially after I get used to it. So I'm going to grab the camera. I'm going to show you what it's like on the inside, give you guys a quick tour. You can see how tall it is to me. So this is about 60 inches. This pole is actually cut to 58 because I read a lot of people said that you want to take off 2 inches, and so it gives a little bit more space, but it can go up a little bit higher, but I like it at this height. I can see why it's like that. So let me get the camera and I'll take you guys on a tour on the inside. Okay, so I have it all staked out. I have the vestibule pulled out. So I'm gonna walk around, kind of show you guys. You got one front stake here. These cross over, very similar to the duplex if you've seen my video on that. This front crosses over, and then there's a little clip they clip into at the bottom. Super cool engineering. But one stake here, one at each corner, one on the side, and then when I was doing the put up, I said there was 2 on the back. There's 3. So there's 2 to pull it out, and then there's 1 in the middle to kind of get it a little close to the ground. Now, the more you get it off the ground, you're going to have more airflow. One common criticism of the one layer tents is that they get a lot of condensation. But one way you can combat that is by getting it a little bit higher off the ground, not getting it so close to ground so that air flows underneath and you don't get condensation on the inside, so you don't have to worry if it's double layered. So once again, there's 3 in the back, there's 1 in the middle to cool, kind of pull it tight to the ground. I can loosen it up, let it come up some. Once again, each corner, and then 1 on the side to pull it out. So let's go on the inside. It might take me a minute to fiddle with these. Okay, so you can see right here, let me get close up on it. It is these cool little clips, and all you gotta do, I could either, you know, loosen this up like this to let these clips down to open it up. Just hard to do with one hand. So now the sides are open. You can leave these open if you expect the weather to be good. There's also right here you can see you can close. You can reach from the inside and close this if the weather is really bad, so these aren't flapping. I had my duplex has the same closure system. I had it in super windy weather, and I was able to close this no problem. It took the wind like a champ when I closed that, didn't flap around. But you can reach from the inside and button this over if you're worried about the weather and you don't want it to blow around. You just have this crossed like this on the door. And then you can roll up the sides to get an open look. So I'm just kind of doing it with one hand, so it's taking a little bit longer. Super easy to do. This particular tent, I bought it from someone and they installed magnets just for like an easy clip up, but you do also have on the sides here, you have a clip to hold it in. Let me get the magnet on. So someone just put magnets into it, but you can also just use, there's clips right here to clip them back. Same thing with the other side. Let me roll it up real quick. Sorry it takes so long. I might just clip this side in. Hold on a second. Oh, there's the clip. I'm just going to throw it over the back here. So let's go on the inside now so I can show you the space. Let's see. I'll position my pole out a little towards the middle. But you can see I'm fully sitting up in here. I've got tons of space above my head, which is why this is nice. If I wanted to sit in here and cook coffee or something in this vestibule area, I'll pull those down so you can see what it looks like from the inside. But I could sit in here easily and be cooking breakfast from the inside of this tent in this vestibule. No problem sitting up. This thing is much wider than what I had thought it would be on the inside. So if I sleep over to the pole, I put everything, you can see how much space I have over here. I've got enough space that I could bring into a single person tent that weighs less than a pound. I could bring my backpack in here. If I had, you know, maybe one of my youngest son, I think I could actually fit him in here. So it's almost like a person and a half. Like maybe if you have a small dog or something, you could get him in here. But the main thing is the headspace for taller hikers. That's what this tent promotes. And I am fully laying down. Now I'll be a little bit higher with my pad, but I'm not going to have a problem in here at 6'3" with 6'2", 6'3". Laying down here, even on my pad. I've got plenty of space for my feet. As long as I push these out, I'm good to go. There's clips on the inside for the bathtub floor. Like if I wanted to pull it up, like say it was raining really hard and I wanted to keep it tight, I could pull this clip up so that the ground pulled up so that there was no space here to let in air or rain if it was dripping back up. So there's clips all the way around so you can pull these snug, so you can pull your bathtub floor right up to the top of your tent to basically seal you in. You can see there's one here on the sides, another one here on the sides, and this just pulls the bathtub floor all the way up. This has about 6 inches of netting. It's probably about 8 inches of netting, and that lets airflow in. So you don't want to keep those blocked unless you have to, unless it was really coming down with rain, because that airflow, like I said, is what keeps the condensation out. Let me see. I'll try to close. It's hard to close the vestibule with one hand. Here, I'm going to stop. I'll pick it up again in 1 minute. Okay, so I connected, there's little rings, and I connected it to the bottom here. And all you got to do if you want to get your vestibule tight is from the inside, you just pull your string tight and your tensioner, and then it pulls your vestibule back out. So I don't know, you guys, I got maybe 2 feet from here to here. to store my shoes or whatever on the outside if it was raining real hard and I wanted to cook. I got a decent amount of space right here that I could put my stuff if it was raining hard, where I wouldn't have to get out. And once again, this is the clip that I can button from the inside to keep this nice and tight on the outside, so that I don't have to worry if it's super windy, about wind blowing these flaps around. So you can take care of that from the inside. You can tighten and untighten this from the inside. It's got this nice semicircle zippered in, so you're completely inside. You know, you got mosquito netting all the way around. I mean, it really feels like you're in a tarp that has netting in it with the bathtub, which is super nice. Like I was saying, it feels like you're in a tarp with the thing all the way around it, but it's hard to beat the weight savings on this, even comparatively to tarps with everything included. The ease of setup, one pole, in and out about 1.5 minutes, really good rain protection, good space on the inside, a nice decent vestibule. And for me, the main reason that I got this tent was because I'd gotten Lyme disease on a previous trip sleeping in tarps. Still love my tarp, still going to use my tarp, especially in the winter. But I thought that if I was going to stay out, it would be nice to have something with mosquito netting all the way around, especially if it was in warmer weather where there might be ticks around. So super stoked. This is just my first impression. It's not a review. As always, I use my gear for at least 6 months to a year. I want to get on the trail a bunch of times, but before I do a formal review. But this is the Altaplex. This is the Zpacks Altaplex. The tent itself is 15.4 ounces. The pole is, well, not this pole, it's a little bit of a thicker pole, but the pole you can get is 3.8 ounces if you buy it from Zpacks. The stakes are going to put you at about an extra 2.5 ounces. So all in, you're around 22, 23 ounces on this. If you use hiking poles, that's one less thing. You don't even have to carry the extra pole, so you're really ahead of it. But very hard to beat if you're a taller hiker and you're looking for a little bit more space. So I feel great about having this in my bag of tricks for tents. So now I have the duplex. And if I'm going to go with 2 people, if I'm going by myself, I'm taking this, my Altaplex. And if I need a freestanding tent, I have my big Agnes copper spur. So I am really covered. But I hope this is helpful for you guys. See you next video. Hey guys, if you like the video you just saw, please subscribe, click the bell so you can get alerted for any new videos that I may do. And check the links below for any information I described in the video. I'll try to put as much there as possible. Thanks for watching.